I am in so much awe of what the Lord just showed me. If you saw my video before this, we were talking about Song of Songs. He also showed me something I missed. But like this has to be one of my most favorite things he's ever shown me. Okay, we're in Song of Songs 4. So there's two separate garments that this woman has, okay? One of them is like outer garments, like priestly garments. The second is like undergarments. Think white and linen. So when you have those two, it should point you to the Day of Atonement. But the white linen also shows that she's in the Holy of Holies, okay? So this is a very special spot that she's in with her beloved, okay? So her beloved comes knocking and kind of requests her to come back out, to go into the world. Listen to what she says, okay? I put off my garments. How can I put it back on? She's not wearing anything. She's naked, okay? She's naked like Adam and Eve were naked in the garden. Yeah, I know. I completely missed it. I thought she was like talking about having them on. She doesn't have them on. So this is a very intimate setting, okay? But then I want you to think about, so she goes back into the world, right? She's called by her beloved. She goes back out. She's misunderstood, okay? They beat her. They take her veil. And then these women are like, why is your beloved better than ours, right? But I want you to pause and think about Moses when he's on Mount Sinai. Remember, Moses comes down, he has to veil his face because it's glowing because he was in the presence of the Lord. And we all know how that story went. He wasn't the happiest when he came down. But that's a parallel, okay? I literally started to cry when I realized what was going on, because think of how many times you have felt close to the Lord and then you have to go back in the world, right? Like, it's hard sometimes. There's more though, like there's more, okay? So then I was like, well, when she's describing him, it kind of, so sometimes the description of the beloved, the male beloved, right, the king, is like the temple, right? So I think it is. Oh, one more thing. So Moses and this woman are acting like high priests, right? They're going into the world, okay? But then we're going to go to the description in Song of Songs 5:11. It says, his head is purest gold. This connects to the inner sanctuary, right? Everything is overlaid in gold. And then 5:14, his arms are rods of gold set with beryl, the pillars of the temple. Okay, then 5:15, his legs are pillars of marble set on bases of gold. Again, these are temple pillars. His mouth is sweetness itself. He is altogether lovely. The altar of incense, the table of showbread. But also, I want you to read 1 Chronicles 29:2. Okay, she's describing the temple. She is describing her bridegroom, but this is also pointing to her, in which she's becoming in him. Now, this is where I might lose you. I think this woman is Mount Zion. Okay, but we have to like define what I mean by this. The best way I can describe it is Jesus is the temple, right? But he wasn't walking around with like pillars and stuff. You know what I mean? In a spiritual sense, right, this woman is Mount Zion. But also, I think it ties to like a glass of wine, a goblet of wine. I'll touch on that quick. So like him pouring into us having new wineskins, but also we know about the covenant and how important the wine is. It's his blood, water turning into wine. Okay, but think about how she's described, okay? Your hair is like a flock of goats leaping down the slopes of Gilead. Your teeth are like a flock of ewes that have come up from washing. It's a mountain. It is a mountain. People are going up and down her, right? Getting pointed to her beloved, being washed, just like the word washes us. It says, there are 60 queens and 80 concubines and virgins without number, but my dove, my perfect one, is the only one of her mother, pure to her who bore her. She is being described like Israel, the land itself, okay? But also like Mount Zion, but also the temple. I think this is showing us her changing into the temple herself, okay? She's becoming it. 1 Corinthians 3:16. You yourself are God's temple and God's spirit dwells in you. But this is what solidified it for me, okay? She is the living Zion like the bride city that we hear about in Revelation 21. She is the new Jerusalem. She is the bride. Like, did you ever think like why? And I've literally heard so many like descriptions or explanations on like the city and Jesus marrying a city. No, Jesus is the temple in Song of Songs, right? We are transformed in the likeness of him. The fact that my favorite book of all time, Song of Songs, and the temple are coming together is literally a dream come true. I'm going to show you how much I'm obsessed with the temple. Here's my Hanukkah one, okay? But I have these little things, but my actual menorah is lit. I lit it on the Sabbath. And I truly hate when it goes out, so I just filled it up again. It like went out like this morning. I literally have the Ark of the Covenant on my desk. Last thing I want to say, okay? Think about Mary at the tomb and she sees the two angels, right? It was like the ark, okay? She was in there waiting for Jesus. Jesus meets her, right? It was in the garden. Like literally it's been open. The secret place, the cleft of the rock, is this intimate place that you can find Jesus. One thing I really do want to point out, because it's a big deal. Actually, I'm going to do another video on it. Again, you don't have to agree with me. I don't think a lot of people are going to agree with me. I think a lot of people are going to disagree with me. That's okay. We can agree to disagree. But I was way too excited to not share this.